Papua New Guinea's Bismarck Sea boasts dazzling natural beauty, as well as an abundance of fish, coral, and mineral deposits. But developing the resources sustainably means devising effective decision-making processes. This is the task of a collaboration between Papua New Guinea's Conservation and Environmental Protection Authority, the Australian Government's Science Agency CSIRO, and the Nature Conservancy. Entitled Building Capacity for Sustainable and Responsible Development in the Bismarck Sea, the programme supports the Coral Triangle Initiative, which has the goal of protecting an enormously biodiverse region while boosting livelihoods and food security. The Bismarck Sea is a priority seascape within the region, and this programme trialled a seascapes approach in East and West New Britain provinces. The programme integrates three core principles. The first is holistic ridge-to-reef planning, which acknowledges that what happens on the land has consequences for the marine environment, and vice versa. The second principle is adaptation pathways. To reach the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, communities and other decision makers must be able to anticipate and adapt to a rapidly changing world. Also, they must keep future opportunities open by avoiding development that's irreversible, or which exacerbates pressures such as population growth and climate change. The third principle is the need for decision-making to be inclusive, transparent, and evidence-based. Providing more information alone can't guarantee that decision-making will improve, because politics, poor networks between stakeholders, and a lack of knowledge are likely to impede the effective use of that information. We tackled this challenge by providing more relevant information for decision-making and creating windows of opportunity for this to better inform decisions by understanding politics and power and building stakeholder networks, knowledge and skills. By applying these three principles, the programme created an initial learning loop amongst stakeholders in New Britain. Decision makers were brought together to plan, implement and reflect on large-scale development proposals. Programme activities covered 6 steps. The first step examined the way that decisions about development are made today in New Britain, and the rules and stakeholders involved. We examined oil palm, tourism, locally managed marine areas, and deep-sea mining as case studies. The second step collected information on the places that people value on land and sea and wish to preserve, for example, resources that contribute to food security, income, or culture. Workshops were held with communities across New Britain to map important features and their values. Third, the values information was computerized into a tool to support decision-making called ELVIS, the Environmental Values Interrogation System. This geographical information system stores and maps the values so that decision-makers can identify which locations are important for communities and why. The next activity was pilot planning workshops, where stakeholders were brought together to consider a future development in the context of an uncertain future. Participants were helped to examine how a development could affect the values held by communities and the achievements of the SDGs, and to encourage new partnerships, networking and social learning. The pilot planning workshops focused on oil palm in East New Britain and tourism in West New Britain. A key gap identified during the pilot planning was land use zoning at the local level to support decisions. At workshops in East and West New Britain, decision makers used tools to zone areas for different types of land and sea use that would maintain features of high value. Finally, the programme aimed to promote reflection and learning by carrying out ongoing evaluation. Such participatory evaluation is an important component because it completes and links learning loops that ultimately form adaptation pathways. Our evaluations showed that decision makers had learnt significantly about decision making and their capacity had been enhanced. While the Bismarck Sea may differ from other seascapes, we suggest that our focus on decision making is widely applicable.